Wow, this was really good. Hi everyone. It's me again, one more time tonight, and then I'll leave you alone, at least till tomorrow, I promise. It's me, Grant the Movie and TV Guy. Movies and TV, that's what we do here. And I just watched a movie that was really, really great. And that movie is Pink Skies Ahead. This movie is written and directed by Kelly Oxford in her directorial debut. Feature, I believe, directorial debut. And she's a name to look out for because this movie's terrific. So what is Pink Skies Ahead about? Interesting title, too. So, it's about Winona. The film is set in 1998. It's about a young woman named Winona who is 20 years old. She's played by a terrific young actress named Jessica Barden, who was absolutely amazing on the English, she's an English actress, Netflix series The End of the Effing World, which is also quite terrific and deals with some of the same themes as this one does. She has struggles in her life. She's not learned to drive. She's 20. She struggles in relationships. She kind of goes from one hookup to the other and can never really settle for anyone else. She struggles with her parents, relating to them, and also, living with them as an adult. And she still sees her pediatrician, played by, even though she's 20, played by Henry Winkler, who, fun fact, I actually met Henry Winkler at a con, and he's a very nice man. So Henry Winkler's character, her doctor, informs her. She keeps talking about how her armpit has been aching, and he says, he begins to talk about, all her space, says, I think you might have an anxiety disorder. She, of course, refuses to believe this for time, and more she begins to start going to therapy. She doesn't know if it's right for her, and eventually she begins to have to face the fact that she suffers from an anxiety disorder, and that she needs to know that it's okay to not be okay. I'm just going to come right out and say, and this is about her journey, I'm going to come out and say this. This movie really affected me. I'm going to get real with you for a second. I promise I will be self-deprecating and just critically for a second, but I want to tell you why this film, much like Nomadland, I mentioned this, it's such a personal period. I also suffer from an anxiety disorder. I have, relating to events in my own childhood and my own life. I've struggled with it. I have panic attacks relatively more than people should. I have really bad insomnia, and I also have to kind of motivate myself to even get up in the morning. However, or out of bed at all. However, I will say you guys and this channel has helped that. It's a good outlet. Getting to talk about what I love, which is movies and TV. And for the most part, everyone on this platform so far has been pretty kind. So I really related to this girl's struggles, and there's very specific things that I don't want to get into just for sake of personal reasons and just not to spoil the film in general. But a lot of this movie hinges on the writing of Kelly Oxford and her filmmaking style, but also it's one of the situations where the filmmaking and the lead go hand in hand. If Jessica Barden's performance came off as too much, it would have killed the movie. She's amazing in this. She was really good in The End of the Effing World, but she's really, really, really star-making performance as Winona. The last 15 minutes or so is a very, very, especially if you've gone through it, very uncomfortable kind of climactic sequence that is so real that it might actually be kind of triggering. But it's so well handled. Kelly Oxford, there's clearly some autobiographical element. There's no way there couldn't be, because how real this is. But before you think this is an after-school special, what also makes this movie work really well is that the message does not drive the movie. I said this in my review of a certain other movie that is as horrible as this movie is really good, which is that a movie has to be a movie first and a message second. And this movie is a movie first. And so, and what it also tackles is the irreverence that can kind of come from being someone who has a disorder, the anxiety disorder, so you crack jokes, where you try to kind of be in denial, and Jessica Barden does such a good job of this, and so does the screenplay, and they really, but they also show, without getting heavy-handed about it, how it's hard to know the signs of someone who's suffering from this, unless you really are in their head, and it can be really stressful for both parties, and and that's really what this movie also does really well without hammering it too hard. Look, I'm gonna come right out with this. My one flaw with this movie has nothing to do with the film itself; it has to do with the presentation. Now, I think it's great that MTV picked up this film and are showing it on their network. I think that's a perfect outlet for it. This premiered at AFI Fest last year. It's an indie film. It is a film. It's 90 minutes long and there's no commercials. The one thing I must say though is that if you're airing this movie at 9 or 8 or 9 o'clock on MTV, deep into cable, and you have a movie that say is a little bit R-rated, at least in the words, the profanity, but the profanity is used especially for emphasis and emotional emphasis, don't censor it. And this movie did, or at least as it was presented on MTV. I would really like it if, knowing a lot of these things end up on a lot of MTV productions now end up on Paramount Plus. If this ever ends up on Paramount Plus, please make it an uncut version with the actual, probably as it was at the festivals or as it was in its final form without the censorship on it. It's kind of the way I felt about when Disney's handling of Hamilton, is that Hamilton was a great film or filmed at stage play, but taking out the profanity was a mistake, and I think that this was the same. However, that's still not going to keep this movie from the top of the heap. I loved Pink Skies Ahead, and I really, really, really loved it. Loved this movie. I cannot wait to see what Kelly Oxford does next, and it's just, man, this year has just been... I feel like people are going to keep thinking I'm doing this, I'm kind of too, liberal with this score, but I can't help it. I just can't help it. I really, really, really love this film. It's... When you find a movie that's as good, you want to, especially since it's not getting a lot of fanfare, because it is airing on MTV, everybody, young and old, should see Pink Skies Ahead, and I'm going to give this movie 5 out of 5 stars. This is a great movie. It's sharp, it's funny. It's very similar in a lot of ways to another movie that I love that's like a younger Scooby, The Edge of 17, by Kelly Fremont Craig. This movie, Kelly Oxford, I cannot wait to see what you do next. Miss Oxford, you're officially on my radar out to this movie, as is Jessica Barton. So, that's going to do it for me on this one. Oh, Trailer Trash and Not on Watching TV. Was there Shawarma? No, there was not. So, alright. Tomorrow or Monday, we're going to be talking about Shrill Season 3. And then this week, I guess we have some stuff coming up. I kind of looked at what movies coming out. I'm going to try to see. There's a lot of movies. I'm going to try to go see next weekend, barring if it's at the theater or not. Profile, Spiral from the Book of Saw, one that I'm definitely... Those Who Wish Me Dead by Taylor Sheridan, Finding You, which we've talked about, and then also, this is a movie that a certain someone in my life has not seen. They are re-releasing in Dolby next weekend, according to my Top Gun, the original Top Gun, I guess in anticipation of the second film coming later this year. Maybe I'll do like another retro review, kind of like the Scott Pilgrim video. Alright. That'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant the Movie and TV Guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. Alright. I love you all. And I mean this from the heart. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, class dismissed. I love you 3000. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to tell people you need help. Alright. And go watch Pink Skies Ahead. It's really good. Alright. Be kind to one another. Be kind to yourselves as well. Take care of yourselves. And thank you all.